Oh, hello, it's Amy from Seriously Sweet and Cookie Snack Attack, and I am super excited for our special guest this evening. We have been waiting on having Timbo in the group live, and let's not hold him up any longer. Timbo, how are you tonight?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I am great. I'm not tired, so that's good.
That's a plus. Oh, well, let's see. Kelly in our group, Timbo, made me all these great headbands to wear. And I meant to find my cupcake hat, but we're in the middle of a move. Do you know the cupcake hat you gave me?
Oh yeah,
I was going to wear it tonight, but I have not been able to put my hot little hands on it. So next time you
uh-huh.
come on, I'll have that ready to roll.
I'll be looking forward to it.
How is the weather in Ohio?
It is very cold right now, but I don't mind cold at all. I've been traveling a
Oh,
lot to a lot of like really hot places, and so it's actually made me appreciate the cold a little more.
well, I think we're going there tomorrow here in Virginia. We're just the one state away, but it was 80 degrees here today.
Oh,
And then,
really?
yeah, and all the leaves were coming down. That was really pretty, but it was very warm. And then it started raining, and then the rest of the leaves came down, and now it's just cold out there.
That's what I'm trying. I'm like fighting sickness, like going from hot to cold and back and forth and back and forth. It's been a lot.
Well, my friend, I think we're about to settle in on the cold very shortly. So, how's the family? Everybody doing okay?
Yeah, everyone's great. We're actually I'm getting ready for a move too, and I am going back into my studio. I took a break from going in the studio a lot because I didn't really have too much to film, but now I'm getting back into TV. I took a year-long break from that. Very much needed. uh,
Okay.
but I'm not gonna lie, I do miss it. So I'm excited about that.
How soon till that starts up for you?
Well, so I have one that I'm working on now. I can't say too much about it, but it's definitely something different than I'm used to. A
Okay.
lot different and involves children. Now, I've never worked with children before, so it's going to be different for sure.
Okay, listen, I think I know what you're talking about, and I cannot wait to see this. So
Yeah.
when it actually releases, is that going to be soon?
It depends. So, like right now, like things are really weird and sketchy with like the writer strike and all of that stuff.
Oh
But
yeah, a little
but
behind.
we should be getting information soon.
All right, well listen, as soon as you have it, we'll get it in the group because everyone's going to want to tune in. And guys, what do you think? Let me know in the
Absolutely.
comments. Do you want to have a viewing party? Because I could probably figure out how to make that happen when the debut of that is out there. And I didn't know you took a whole year off from TV.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Like when it comes to TV, like it's safer to just work with Food Network because Food Network has a lot of cake and cookie shows, right? When you
Yes.
go off into do like other streaming networks, it's cool, but if they only have like one or two shows, then you have to wait a year until you can do another show with another network because of
I got you.
contracts. You know what I mean? So
Oh, all right. Well, everyone is loving the idea of having a viewing party when it releases. So please make sure you tell us. And I'm so excited because I heard you're coming to Virginia in January.
I am coming to Virginia. This is my first time. Sorry, this is not my first time in Virginia, but it's my first time in this area. And so I've only ever been to Fairfax before because of the cake show there. So I've been
Okay.
there twice, but never really got to like enjoy it, I guess. And so I'm gonna
All
try
right.
to this time.
Well, now you are going to a nice area, but Virginia is one of those states that we literally have like Midland, we have the mountains, we have the valley, we have
Uh-huh.
the coast. So I think you're going to have a great time in Norfolk in the area that you're going to, because that's the coastal area of Virginia.
Oh
But
yeah.
when you are ready, you come to the mountains and we will make sure that you get to see everything out here because it's a whole different universe.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It's real pretty here. So everyone is saying hello. They want to know if you're going to be a judge on any of these shows. I feel like I saw
Yes.
you on a show with Rosanna
Yeah,
Pacific.
Rosanna. So yes, the only thing is, so I really miss competing, right? But once you start judging, you can't go back and forth. And so
Yes.
for me, it was like one of the last times I judged, or one of the first times I judged. It was so funny because it was with Buddy Valastro
Yes.
and Martha Stewart, and they were like, "You could just relax now. Like now you're behind the table. You don't have to like endure any of the craziness." And I'm like, I'm not ready for that. Like it was so boring. It was amazing working with them. I'm just like, I can't just sit still. And
Oh
so
my
when I
gosh.
went and did Baketopia with Rosanna, we shot the pilot episode, and I kept getting in trouble because they're like, Timbo, you can't keep jumping down and helping people. Like, you can't do that. Like, you're a judge now, stay behind the table. But it's like I can't just watch somebody's cake fall over, right? You know what I mean? And so
I understand.
I got in trouble so much during the first episode that by the time we came back to shoot the second episode, they just added it into the show that I was allowed to get up and go down and walk around. And
Oh,
so,
that's funny. I was going to say, did they Velcro you to the chair? Because that's what I was expecting. Duct
so
tape or
now I've
Velcro?
agreed. I've agreed now that like I'll do shows and I'll do judging as long as it's a little hands on. And
I
so if there's
gotcha.
like something where I can like mentor and still teach at the same time, then I'm down.
I gotcha. All right. I think that is super exciting. So you also have an international audience with us here tonight. Australia's in the house. There's many of our Canadian friends on here. Is
Oh,
Australia in
awesome.
the house? I think I saw them on my personal feed, but I haven't seen them check in on the comment area for StreamYard. So guys, listen, if I put your comment up and it doesn't show your name, then you know it's not showing your name. So either go back out and give it permission to show your name or type your name at the end of the comments, because I'll be monitoring for Timbo. And I'm sure that he would like to know who is commenting and who's asking questions. So just make sure you do
Absolutely.
that. And please, oh, and Rochelle wants you to come. Where did you say California, Rochelle? You want him to come to Rochelle to teach instead of TV, but is that on your schedule? Because your teaching schedule is huge this year. You've been somewhere every weekend.
I know, and people are like, every time I'm somewhere like during the weekend, they're like, "Where are you going next weekend?" I'm like, I don't even know. Like, if it's not happening tomorrow, I have no clue. That's how my mind is.
You got to go one day at a time, because I bet it
One
gets
day at
all
a
jumbled,
time.
doesn't it? Hey, Holland in the house. And then Julie said Holland, Michigan. Well, we're glad Holland, Michigan's in the house. But they're watching from all over tonight, and we're super excited to have you. Thank you again. I know you're busy, so you haven't probably gotten to watch any of the tutorials up to this point, but they've all been like mic drop tutorials. Like they've all
Oh,
been spectacular. Yeah, like every night there's been mini jewels in some of them, and then some of them are just like mic drop, mind blowing, like never thought to do that. And
oh
we've
yeah.
had a really good mix of instructors. We had 2 wild card instructors, which were people that I picked from our group that I thought, based on the fact that, well, first of all, I know them, so I know their personalities, so I know they wouldn't freeze up on me, right? But I also, they've been teaching a lot in person, and they're good with adults and kids, so I knew they could like go either way here.
Yeah.
So anyway, they were my wild card picks. That was Mimi and Fabiola. Do you know either of them? Because
Oh
they
yeah.
killed it. Huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they crushed it. They were great. I'm gonna brag on you girls for a little bit. But we've
That's
also
awesome.
listened to this lineup. We had Laura Perotti, we had Maxine that does glaze, we had Samantha Bogman, we had Jennifer Mosier, who does that cool hand painting Coco. You met
Oh
Jen at
yeah.
Cookie Con, yeah. Tammy and Todd from 2Ts is going to be here tomorrow night. Sydney was here and did that awesome isomalt gothic bathtub. Terry Lewis, I know you love Terry. She was here. Yeah, she was amazing. Her artwork is just phenomenal. We had Becky from Texas here. Sue Backman did that stained glass. You remember that stained glass cookie that we saw at Ohio Cookie Con?
Yeah, I think I've seen it in the group too.
Yeah, so Sue came on and taught. Jessie Ann Riley, who is like a wealth of information just in this field in general. Like she's been doing this. I'm not saying you're old, Jessie Ann. So if you're watching, I am saying a high compliment to you, because you have been in the industry and survived for so long with such a great attitude. And she just kept like literally nugget after nugget after nugget into everybody. And Brooke was here and made the grossest eyeball in isomalt that I've ever seen. Like
Oh yeah.
Taylor, yeah, she did an isomalt eyeball, and I was like, I hope Timbo sees this, because this is disgusting. And then Mimi helped everybody with how to, you know, stuff we need in the group to make money. So she helped people with like a program you can use where you can pay commercial licensing and then take it, make your own transfers, then increase the transfers, and then make gift tags, make your packaging match, like the whole shebang. And then
that's awesome. That's like perfect for what I'm teaching today, actually.
Oh, that's good. So, and then Fabiola, if you don't know Fabiola, she's in California. I hope she'll catch one of your classes when you're out that way, because she sculpted in cookie dough and it looked, oh my God, it looked phenomenal. And then May had to do hers recording last night because she was competing in, May's on here and she said hello. She was in Clash of the Bakers doing a live competition in Dallas.
I saw that.
Yeah, so she did the doll whose name I can't say, that's Hump Day because it's trademarked, but she did a pre-recorded video of that and it was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
Everything she does is amazing.
Have you sculpted with her new clay product yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay, do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't have any more, but I used it all doing like tutorials and things like that, but I couldn't wait to try it out.
All right, May, I see that you're here. So you have Timbo's address. Send him some more of that new clay so that he can show it to everyone. Because you know, when a new thing is out, people want to see it before they buy it. Hey, Priscilla, how are you doing tonight? All right, well, listen, Timbo has to leave us at promptly 8 tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the live stream over to him. I'll monitor questions. He's going to flip his camera. If you have any questions after the demo is done tonight that we didn't answer during the demo, you guys put them in the comments. He'll come back and take a look at them when he can. And Timbo, is it okay? Do you want them all left in the video, or would you rather they message or DM you?
Either is fine.
Okay. And are you
I'll probably see them in the group first, though, so that'll be even better.
Okay, so put them in the group. That way everyone will see the answers. And then are you hanging out more on Instagram these days, or Facebook, or where's the place we can watch all your up and coming stuff? Are you putting it in both all the time now?
Yeah, both really.
Okay. Oh, and Trisha, listen to this. Trisha is flying to Denver to take your cake and cookie classes with her son, and then she's flying to Phoenix to take the cookie class with some friends. That is going to be so amazing.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Trisha. We love it when you guys support all the artists. And Fabiola said she had a great time. So you check out her cookie. But I think that she's got some of that talent. You could probably just give her a little info and set that girl on fire right there.
For sure.
All right, well, guys, I'm going to put this on Timbo's. Let's check the sound. Do you feel okay? Everything good with your camera?
Yeah, I'm trying to see does the Zoom make it blurry?
No. Well, if you're on Zoom right now, it's not blurry at all. I can see everything.
Okay, well, let me see. Does it get blurry now?
Nope. It's on my end, it's perfect. You guys tell me in the comments what it looks like for you. But on what I see, it's perfect on my phone and my iPad and my computer. And you're lined up perfectly. I can see from the very edge of that far left pink cookie.
Right here,
yep, and take your finger and run it across. I can see it go to the right. Go to the right. Yep, okay, where your Dresden tool is, keep going. I can see just a few inches past that. And then just right below the Dresden tool where the ruler ends, that's the bottom that I can see.
Okay, awesome. Yep, that's perfect. Okay. That's what I see.
All right, everybody's saying it looks great. Your screen looks good. Perfect. Lavelle says hello. Myra, Nancy, everybody says it looks good. And they're like all over the country. So they're the people that check in. And Carrie Myers is here. Do you know Carrie? I feel like you know
I do.
She's here from Australia. She said, welcome to your future, because it's Halloween morning. Camille said it's good on her phone. But blurry on her phone, but that might just be the phone connection over there. And Mimi, yes, oh my goodness, you do see flowers. I think I did a really good job of telling them you were going to do something gory because you're Timbo, and so to be expecting that. And so I feel like I did a really good job of giving you guys yet another surprise.
Yeah, no, so I'm doing something a little different today. I normally we'll go the gory route, but I feel like that was like, I really want you guys to be able to make money with things that I teach. And so if I would have done something a little earlier, like it was available a little earlier, I would have showed you guys something perfect for Halloween. But now I'm just going to show you guys something perfect for like fall and other occasions, and how to kind of like maneuver and like use it for different holidays and things like that. And so I am working on a tombstone today, but we're going to make it as, I don't know, as pretty as possible.
It's going to be a pretty tombstone.
Well, yeah. So basically what I'm teaching in one of my newest classes is like these like really miniature floral sprays, right? And so the reason why I'm teaching that is because I know it's been a super hard, awkward year for a lot of bakers, right?
Oh yeah.
Like with the economy and things like that. And so one of the things that I've noticed in my research and like teaching and getting feedback is that around the holidays, a lot of people like to order different treats and things like that, but they're always going to different bakers because different bakers do different things. And so most of the time, cookiers don't do treats and treat makers don't do cookies. But what I found is that although it's hard for, how do I word this? It's hard for cookiers, or it's hard for treat makers to become like master cookiers, right? But it's not hard for cookiers to become treat makers.
That's
And
right.
so that's what I'm showing in my newest class. I'm gonna give you guys a little example of that today. But basically, it's just like, so this is a cookie that I decorated, right? So this is the cookie. But then, like, I have a chocolate covered Oreo decorated the exact same way.
Love it.
And then a
Terry
chocolate covered Rice
Hey,
Krispie treat.
Timbo, Terry Lewis is here. She said, can't wait to see this Maxter in action. You go, Timbo. And she's got blue hearts and smiley faces.
Awesome. I love Terry. She knows that. But yeah, so like all of these treats are made the exact same way, just with cookie techniques. There's royal on this one. There's melted chocolate on this one, different things. Now for these, I did sculpt the flowers. And so that's pretty much what the newest class is about. I'm sure I'm going to show you guys how to kind of get around that today. So like just how to make something a little easier. And so what I'm going to start with is vanilla fondant. So this is technically,
when I saw you post this class, I was like, there's all my colors. There's the pink, the black, the gold, the silver. He's got a little white in there. That's like everything. That's my jam right there, Timbo. That's awesome.
So I'm going to use a little vanilla fondant. And so this is kind of like a gray, but I made it by just using vanilla fondant. I had a little flavoring to it, and then crunching Oreo crumbles into it. And so it gives me like the effects that you'll get from like stone. And that's what I'm going for.
Does it matter what fondant they do this with? Do you have a preference?
I like the taste of satin ice more, but it really just depends. And so the brands that I use depends on what I'm making, because some brands dry a little faster than others, some crust a little faster than others. And so for things like stone and things like that, I'll use satin ice and let it dry a little bit. But when I'm working on faces or something that I need to dry slow, I'll use like Wilton or Renshaw.
Gotcha. Okay, you guys heard all that, right? If you have questions, put them over in the comments.
So I'll take a little foil, crinkle that just a little, flatten it a bit. You really want to press it into the fondant to get that texture. And this is something that's you can do with royal icing too. You guys know that. So you just use like
with the tissue, the parchment transfers.
Exactly.
This looks great. I also, you guys, by the way, in case you're interested, I tested this with moldable royal icing that that May sells. And if you get that to the consistency where you can roll it, you can do this on that and then drop it right on a cookie too, just in case anyone has one of the huge bags and you're looking for ways to use it up.
Absolutely. And so as you can see, I have some texture on one side and then smooth on the other side. I'm just going to do half and half.
Ooh, I like that. Can everybody see okay? The sound is good.
And so this is where most of my decor will go. Now I do like to, I'm gonna cut it down a little bit more because I do like to have like a little cookie or a little frame around my cookie. So like that.
Okay.
All I'm gonna do is add a little water.
So guys, in case you missed it, Timbo, you said you crushed up a little bit of Oreo crumble and mixed it in that fondant, right?
Yes. I don't know
Okay.
if you guys can tell right now, but it has like a lot of specks in there.
Yes.
And so normally if I just wanted to like make specks the hard way, you'll just take a toothbrush, dip it in a little color, and then just flick it on there. But it is very messy, and so the Oreos just help me to get them a little quicker, a little faster, and less of a mess. So I have my texture on one side. This is where I want my stone flowers to go. Now, again, as you can see, like these are a little more 3D, right? And so these are the ones from the class. Also, before I forget, the classes that are on my website, if you use code 13 nights, everything is 40% off. And so you can take the new class, but, and I'm a horrible business person for saying this, but if you already have like a ton of classes from me and you're waiting to use them, a lot of these techniques are exactly the same. So anything that I'm decorating on the cookie, you can decorate for chocolate covered Oreos, royal icing, or chocolate covered Rice Krispie treats and cupcake toppers.
So
And
Timbo,
so
just to be clear, that is 13 nights for 40% off everything on your site or just classes?
all of the online classes and tutorials.
Okay.
Yep.
Off his online class. I'm putting it in the comments now, so it'll be part of the video.
Awesome.
And you should tell them about your airbrush line before you leave us tonight. Not right now, but before you leave us, because those colors are awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we're actually restocking those in time for Black Friday. Right now, we're out, but a lot of our like retailers and stores around the US have them still. And so we're working on the list right now to see who still has some so people can find them before the holidays.
Okay, and I did hear you right. You said 40% off online classes.
Yep.
Hey, that's a deal, guys. If there's something you need to grab that you can use to make money for November and December for Thanksgiving and Christmas, you should jump on that. No, it does not work on the colors. It's just online classes. But thank you guys for asking. And Myra says she got her airbrush colors today.
Oh, awesome.
I used mine already and I love them.
So I'm going to use a black now. This is just to give me a little shadow before I start to place on my transfers. So I always want shadow underneath where the transfers are. Just for like a little coloring tip, I'm barely pressing down on my trigger. So this is just a single action gun. I have my compressor on max, but I'm only letting out a little bit of color. So just enough to let out a little bit of color. I always say like when your cookie starts to get too shiny, it's because you let too much color out. So I know I'm putting some transfers there, may do some up here.
Okay. Now I have a question for you because in 2024 Cookie Snack Attack, the classes that I sell in the 2 Tutorial Tuesdays, we're going to be using the airbrush more. And some people have messaged me. They're kind of freaked out about using airbrushes, but really they should just get one they're comfortable with and get started, right?
So I like the ones that don't have like the adjustments in the back, right? Those are the simplest kind that you can get, but everyone is different. Everyone likes different kind. And so I've actually noticed that most of the cookiers that sell airbrushes, they have like the little mini compressors and things like that. In the cake world, we're not used to that. In the cake world, we're used to like the giant ones with like the giant guns. And so I haven't found a cookie airbrush that I haven't liked yet. I just try to stay towards like guns that look like this, that have the smooth backs to them.
Gotcha.
But it's really just about the control. So once you get a control of the like letting the color out and only letting a little bit out, it'll be great.
Hey, Japan is in the house. Welcome, Rose. Thank you for tuning in again today. So would you tell them just get something affordable and get started because they're missing out without this, aren't they?
I would say because dry brushing is obviously an option as well, but dry brushing is a little slower, and so you really have to like evaluate how much you think you'll need your airbrush. A lot of people say like, "Well, I don't do a lot of airbrushing, so I don't really need one right now," but you don't do a lot of airbrushing because you don't have one. And so if you had one, you'll be able to play with it a little bit more and like offer something else to your client. That's really what this demo is about, like being able to offer more to your clients, especially this holiday season, because a lot of people are like facing tough choices. Like they either have to like throw in the towel, hang up their aprons, or rebrand. And so rebranding, I think, is very important, and just like adding more to your menu.
Yeah, that's one of the things I talked about in my elective at CookieCon, that I wanted to see everybody back in Austin, and that was a full year away. But that they needed to stay on a pivot, and they needed to start grabbing more of the dessert dollars from each customer that they deal with, because they already have that client, right? They already have that person that loves their work. So,
sure.
So getting into things like what you're doing, like the transfers here and the little flowers, making some mini cupcakes and popping that on and tying all the colors together and giving them a bigger dessert bar set. Like you guys, you got to stay on it. I can't say it enough. You got to stay on it. We want to see you healthy and thriving when it's time to go back to Austin.
And so I'm going to start to place on my transfers now. And so again, there are some that are a little more difficult. And the reason why I do that is because obviously, like the ones that are handmade, I can charge more for. They're a little more expensive and they look more intricate, right? But an easier way is to just use a mold. Now you can use fondant, modeling chocolate, the moldable icing, or melted chocolate in molds like this, and it'll come out the exact same each time. And so these are the transfers I'm going to use for this one, just to keep it simple. Because that's another thing. A lot of people see my cookies and they're like his cookies are great, but I can't charge that much for cookies. All of my cookies have different prices because they're all different. Like they all have different amounts of work to them, and some are faster than others, some are less expensive than others, and it really just depends on what the client wants or what their budget is most times.
That's right.
So I'm adding a little water to the back of each one. Then I have these. So these are handmade, but they are a lot faster. So this is just me taking a little fondant. I'll start with the ball.
That's one of my favorite rose molds because it's not terribly deep. So you don't really have to worry about how thick the piece is you're adding to the cookie.
Exactly. I'm just rolling my fondant.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay,
you
awesome.
Just went soft for a second while that noise was going off.
So I'll just take my fondant and I'll just roll it. So just roll, 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 break it off, and then just cut the bottom away. So just like that. So you can make as many of those as you want. And this just gives you more flower options, obviously.
That tombstone looks really great.
And this is like, it's not, I try to like encourage people to like look at each class or like look at everything that I make and try to see different themes within it. And so like I know what's really popular right now that I've noticed over the weekend is like I get like a lot of requests for like for example, people turning 30, like they'll request like death to my 20s or something like that, or like divorce themed cookies, things like that. Like there's a lot of different things that you can use tombstones for, but if not a tombstone, stone is the exact same. You know what I mean? And so sometimes stone is just a theme.
That's right. This is perfect though, because there's so many options. Okay, now I don't want to butcher this name, but I think they know you, so I want to say the name. Is it Irma H. Gerd? Irma Gerd? Do you know who that is? They're saying Timbo, a lot of exclamation points, and so
no, that's just hey, Amy, you're adorable.
What?
That's just like lingo for like, oh my God, but like in a different way.
Oh, well, what does it mean? I'm just older, Timbo. That was a
It's
nice
just,
way of Timbo telling you I'm older. What's that
it's
mean?
just,
It means, oh my God.
yeah.
Who typed that? We have to talk. I'm going to have to get up on the lingo. I thought that was a person because it said Irma. All right. Well, listen, it's not slowing down around my house. I'm getting closer and closer to 54 every day. Okay, they're all laughing. Even Japan, Miss Rose is laughing. All right. Well, listen, don't any of you put anything bad up there. Don't get me in trouble tonight.
Right. Now just take advantage of it.
Y'all better not. We have 2 more demos to go.
So now I'm just stuffing fondant in the mold.
Allison, thank you so much. You guys are a trip. Oh, I did want to ask you something about that. So when you do this part, do you always do these little bits with straight fondant, or do you play based on the time of year? Because you're in Ohio, so you have 4 seasons. Do you play and mix modeling chocolate in these sometimes too?
Yes, sometimes. So like it really depends on the client, because I've noticed a lot of times when it comes to fondant, especially nowadays, like I know fondant used to be disgusting. Like a lot of people didn't have like base taste to their fondant, right? Now a lot of times, a lot of them have a vanilla base. But when someone doesn't like fondant, it doesn't matter what your fondant tastes like or how amazing you think your fondant tastes. They're going to take it off when it comes to cakes, right? But fondant on cookies dries differently. And so a lot of times, as long as it tastes good, there are even brands that taste like royal icing that work perfectly. But
Yeah.
if I have a client that likes chocolate more, then I'll try to incorporate chocolate more. So I'll just like make a ton of chocolate molds and then use those.
Okay, now guys, seriously, would you just take a second and look at that cookie? He's using the same fondant to make the flowers he used for the background. So without that airbrushing, they would not be popping off that cookie like they are. I mean, that looks outstanding.
And so now I'm taking a little royal, and I use a very thick consistency, so a little thicker than toothpaste. And then I'm going to take I put some coconut flakes into a Ziploc baggie with a little powder color. And since I'm going for more of like a dark fall look or like a Halloween look, I've
Gotcha.
added a little green and red to the color, so it's more of like a mossy color.
Okay.
I'll just dip that in there.
Ooh, I love that. You know what? Not for nothing, but this would look fantastic with the skull jumping out of it too. If you wanted to get really Halloween, like coming out screaming at you, you know what I mean?
Right.
This looks awesome.
Going to let some of the vines fall.
Well, there you have it, folks. I am adorable. That is the new comment. So when I do something silly, all you all have to do is sigh and say, "You're adorable," and keep moving because I'm not going to know what you're talking about. Oh, you guys are funny. Timbo, I did have another question. In a set of cookies, because it might come up later, because we've talked about this a lot in the last couple of weeks. In a set of cookies, how many would you actually, if you were selling them by the dozen and you wanted to price it out and mix up your feature cookies versus your fast cookies versus transfer cookies, how many would you actually current day, since you travel a lot and you see a lot of cookiers, how many do you think is the norm right now for fancy feature cookies in a set?
Normally, so just to kind of like avoid a ton of back and forth, I will ask the client to come up with a budget. Don't ask them if they have a budget, because everybody says no, right? So
Yes.
They always say no, and then you give them a price. They're like, okay, why didn't you spend that much? And you're like, well, that's what a budget is. But make them come up with the budget first, and then you can like throw in, hey, this is what I can do for like this price, and this is what I can do for this price. But come up with a budget, and then I'll let you know what I can do for that or with that. And then if you want to add to your budget, you can. So normally, uh, just to not like scare them.
That probably helps from a lot of work on the cookier side as well, right? Because if they, you know, right off the bat that you're not doing a dozen cookies for $30, well, then you've solved the issue. You don't even need to discuss color and how many are feature.
Exactly. So a lot of times they'll say, well, what's more important to me? Like, let's say it's a frog stick. They'll say, um, well, I'll say, what's more important to you? And they'll say, hey, I have two kids that really love realistic frogs, right? And I'll say, okay, let's do 4 realistic frogs. So let's say those, depending on the design, like are anywhere from like maybe $15 to $30 per cookie. And then I'll say, let's do the rest of the set, just regular cookies. Like if they're turning 9, let's do the number 9. Let's do their names. Let's do royal icing, lily pads, things like that. And then just place them all together in a way that people know the really detailed cookies are off limits and they can just grab from the less expensive ones, you know?
Okay. Now, Timbo, guys, tell me in the comments, Carrie said she lost your voice for a minute, but I think that's just when you trailed off to pick something up.
Oh, yeah.
I can hear you, but let me know. And somebody that's watching that knows Carrie, if she still can't hear him, tell her to go out and come back in. But on this side, it looks like everything is running at 100%, like we're all good here. This cracks me up, that teeny tiny Barbie size micro piping bag in pink icing, and you're piping with it.
Listen, I do not know how you guys do it, but I cannot use a large icing bag to do details. Even like lines, or like when you guys are like making, like I see you guys do like when you do like lines or something like that, and you're like lifting the icing from the cookie and just letting it fall on there. I don't know how to do that.
Oh.
I wish like if there was like a cookie event where I didn't have to teach as well.
Well, I
Then I
say
would just
we hit
take
the
classes
open
again.
decorating room next time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's go in there. We can find lots of trouble to get into in there.
I really would just love to take more classes, honestly.
Well, I tell you what, the stuff that you feel like you don't know, if you go in that room, everybody will help you.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, you just sit down, walk around, see somebody doing something, sit down, and I mean, they're amazing people. You just sit down and they're going to say, oh, let me show you. And then you'll be off and take it 10 levels above us in 5 minutes. I know you will.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is so pretty. But those micro piping bags are probably hard for you though, huh? Because of your size of your hands.
No, so I put them in regular piping bags and then cut them that way. It's like it's easier for me to work with them like a pencil than it is to like work like an icing bag for some reason. I don't know why.
Now, Bobby's asking about purchasing those teeny tiny bags somewhere or make them. She's looking for something like that for elf kits. So you can use the smaller medium bags and just put a little bit of icing in, do the helicopter, and then tie it off or tape it off with the tape machines. But they also make a small bag and an extra small bag. I saw them on somebody's site a couple weeks ago. Do you know where that is, Timbo?
I don't know. I've always bought, so the reason why I always buy the large bags or like the medium bags is because I need room to like tie, like since I have
to be able to tie it.
Right, and so I need to be able to tie it. Then also like it's annoying because I feel like I'm wasting so much icing bag each time. But I just buy like a pack of those. That way I always have the size that I need. You know what I mean?
But the bags are so affordable now. Hey, Mimi, if you're on here, would you do me a favor and go to Bee's Baked Art? Because I feel like I was on their site recently, and then check TMP, and then does Bobby's Cutters have bags, Timbo? Do you know? Because I feel like that's the sites I was on recently.
I'm not sure.
So Mimi, check those out, and if you can find the smaller bags, just keep in mind, you guys, you do have to be able to tie them. I personally prefer tying when I'm making those little micro bags because the tape machine can leak. Like even if you twist it and tape it. And Alisa's saying that the bees ones, they have small ones. And Nancy would like to know if when you're done, if you could zoom in on that cookie so they can get a screenshot of it really close up. And Melinda Ruiz says, hello. Hi, Melinda.
Absolutely. Yes, actually, as soon as we're done with the live, I'll take pictures of all of them and just post it in the group really quickly.
Okay, and Priscilla's saying that bees you used to have the small ones too. This is such a pretty cookie. Yeah,
so what I'll do now is
posting links, you guys. So just check these out when it's over. There'll be live links.
So just these little, really tiny fondant balls I'll do, just because royal icing balls, like they'll rest a little bit more. So I want these to look more 3D. But the reason why I'm going with like this dark maroon like color is because we're going for like a tombstone look. So if I were going for something more vibrant, then I would use lighter ones so that they look like fresh berries. But I'm going for more of like a poison berry look for right now.
I love that. I love it. That looks beautiful. Now, can you just push it forward just a little bit more when you're lifting? There you go. That looks awesome.
So just make sure when you're adding the holes, add them in different spots so they don't look too uniform.
Perfect. That color's perfect. Sandra Weber said she can't wait to take your class in March in Sacramento. And Bobby said she's going to look again for the little bags. She does heat seal and tape too, but try to avoid plastic waste if she can. So she's going to look for the smaller ones.
Oh, yeah.
And Mimi drop some links in there. You don't have any affiliate links I should be dropping in here for you, do you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay. And poison berry, Priscilla said, there is the scary. So you just drop. Oh, that's beautiful.
And then I'm just going to take some gold luster dust. And so like when I use luster dust, I don't like for it to smear unless I like purposely want it smeared. And so I'll add a little vodka to my luster dust, but then I'll add a little bit of my confectioner's glaze. So my favorite kind is Super Shine from Poppy Pink.
Okay.
This will just make sure it locks in the color so there's no smearing and it dries instantly.
Okay.
So,
and what do you normally put that on the part that you dry dusted?
I just to make like a little luster dust paint.
So you mix it in before you flick it on the cookie.
Yes. Okay. So I'm just going to take my brush and I'll just tap in random areas.
I hope they were paying attention because that is like mega pro tip right there.
Even the berries, I'll just tap a little bit on the berries. And so the reason I can do that is because the molds are so deep. And so the color will just stay on top like this, but it just kind of like brings everything together.
Perfect.
And this is why I like to use thick consistency royal icing, because I cannot imagine. I'm like a very impatient person, I guess, but I can't imagine like waiting as long as some of you guys have to wait for like flooding and things like that.
You want to talk about that? Let's be real about that. And the only people that can wait that long are people that are doing big cookie orders. So they're circling across 48 cookies at a time and then circling back. Otherwise, we're the most impatient people on the planet as well.
See, I've never had to make more. I've never had to decorate more than 2 dozen. And so the only time I've had to bake more than 2 dozen is for a class. And then I was like, never again. So those of you who do like 4, 5, 6 dozen, I commend you.
They're crazy, right? I know we're a little bit. I think my last big order before COVID was for one of the businesses in town where my storefront was or is, I guess still. It's not open, but I go in there every once in a while to bake. But I did a 500 order at the last minute for somebody, and I thought I was going to die. I was like, I'm not doing that again.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was all right. I got it done, but I mean, I was definitely part of Team No Sleep, and I'm not a big proponent for Team No Sleep. I don't like that team. That's not my team. Okay, so Debbie says, I try to do that so I don't have to worry about gold rubbing off in the bag. It was a tip I got from one of your classes, maybe your Grinch class. So she's been using that, Timbo, so you helped her.
Awesome. Yeah, see, like I normally don't have to bag my cookies, so I never even knew that was an issue until I started doing, or like I started like going to more cookie events and things like that, and people would like ask me questions about how I do that.
Yeah, because that'll, if you don't seal it somehow, either you're going to have to go back and seal the whole cookie or that dust is going to rub off in the bag.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Bobby said she's trying to figure out how to pivot here to get off Team No Sleep. Well, you keep your head on a swivel and you will figure it out.
Uh-huh, for sure.
Team No Sleep will take the joy out of the art. Look at that. That's so pretty.
And so I'm just making sure I'm messy with this so that doesn't look too perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also because if everything looks too perfect, you can't rush anything, right? So
Right.
if everything looks rushed and cool, then people can't tell if you just made a mistake.
Yeah.
So just like that.
Priscilla says these are very gothic looking. She loves them. And you know what? I'm looking at that round one and I'm thinking a few gears on there and it would have a complete steampunk feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So,
There's so many different things.
Jessica wants to know, does the poppy glaze change white color? I'm not sure that. Tell me that question another way, Jessica. Let me read it exactly like it is, Timbo. Does poppy glaze change white color?
So normally when I'm working with, I like to use the glaze for, even if it's just like 50-50 glaze and vodka.
Mm-hmm.
I'll like paint whatever white that I'm like working with before I add any color to that, like any royal icing on top of that or any hand paint on top of that, so that it doesn't bleed or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love to use white poppy paint over my royal icing, things like that, because it dries so fast that the color doesn't pick up into the white and bleed on that either. And so I mainly buy the Super Shine, the black, and the white. I love to use those for certain things.
Okay. Does CK still have a confectioner's glaze out in the big jar? Is that even a thing anymore? Because I've been trying
They
to.
don't. They stopped buying. They stopped using that. I don't think like a lot of it was really mainly for sculpted cake. Like people used it for sculpted cakes and things like that, and so it wasn't super popular. Now they're trying to bring it back because more people are using it in the cookie world. And the
Oh,
cookie
okay.
world is way larger than the cake world. We just didn't know.
You didn't know we were all lurking in the sidelines, did you? So funny. But I spilled my bottle of CK, which I got at a great deal, you guys, but I spilled it and at one of the cookie cons, and so I didn't have any more. And then I was like, okay, I can't replace it either. And some of the smaller ones are just, they're pretty pricey.
Yeah. You can also like you can make your own glaze by just using like the 50-50 corn syrup and vodka, high proof
Mm-hmm.
vodka. It just doesn't dry as fast. So you have to be a little more careful with that one.
That is just looking phenomenal. Look at those, you guys. So Jessica
that's pretty much it. So now if you like, let's say for example, this is how you decorate it on a cookie. If you're using a Rice Krispie treats, as you guys can see, same exact way. A lot of people's issue or a cookier's issue is that, well, I don't know how to get the chocolate smooth on Oreos or Rice Krispie treats. All I use is a mold. So you pour a little melted chocolate into the mold, pop your Oreo in or pop your Rice Krispie treats in, and then you have like a smooth base, exactly like you would with a cookie.
Okay, and also Timbo did a video for us that is still in the Cookie Snack Attack group and still on my YouTube channel. Was it last Easter that you did it? Maybe not this Easter, but the Easter before, where you used all those awesome chocolate molds?
Yes.
Was that Easter?
Yep, it was for Easter.
Okay, so go back and find that because that has a ton of relevant, useful information in it. And also, Timbo, let me read this to you real quick. Jessica said she's using a glaze that yellows her white color. So she was asking about using a confectioner's glaze that won't turn the white. That was the particular question.
Yeah, so most of them have like a yellowish tint to them because of how they're made.
Okay.
And so what you have to do is kind of dilute yours a little bit with a little vodka.
Okay.
That'll help it to be more clear.
Okay.
And then
Jessica, you with him? Do you have another follow-up question because we have a minute or two.
So normally with that, you just need to do like maybe 2 layers. But PME also sells a spray glaze. Now there's a little diluted so that it can spray, but it's not as yellow at all. Like it's
okay,
mostly
she
clear.
says thanks. So that must have taken care of that. And also, Sandra just put this up. Have you ever heard of this company? She said Robert Haynes has confection glaze in both shiny and matte. Do you know?
Yes, he is like a master sugar flower artist, and so
Okay.
they use it a lot on their leaves and flowers and petals and things like that.
Okay. Well, Miss Sandra, if you happen to have a link to that, drop it in the feed for the video. I'm sure people would like that. And Timbo, Priscilla is asking if there is a link for the molds for the Oreo and the Rice Krispie treats. And if you don't have a link handy, can you just tell us how many are in it? Because you probably got them from Amazon, right?
Yes, I did get mine from Amazon. They are normally all. I don't have my Oreo one out right now, but so like this is what the Rice Krispie treats one looks like, and so you just fill it halfway with chocolate, pop the Rice Krispie treats in there. Normally, I'll put mine on like a plastic cutting board or something like that. Pop them in the freezer for a minute or two.
Okay.
Bring them out, and they're ready to go.
Okay. And so is the Oreo one about that level of flexibility? Because I think I saw an Oreo one on there yesterday.
Yes, it's the exact same thing. It has more inserts for Oreos.
Oh, and you know what? Lavelle is saying she thought the chocolate bars were Halloween with eyes. So maybe we did it twice because there's definitely one that was either Easter and Mother's Day because we did it with roses and pink chocolate and flowers.
No, someone I think someone posted in the group, they used the tutorial to make a Halloween version.
Okay.
I think theirs had eyes in it. It was really
well,
cool.
I mean, if you were 54, you wouldn't remember that either. Just kidding. Everyone says these are beautiful. Buffy says looks beautiful, but still very Halloween. She says, I made Oreos, cake pops before I started cookies. Still new to all this. Thank you for sharing. But see, Buffy, you're the perfect person here because you've got 3 different things rolling within your dessert market. And you know what Fabiola told me on the night that she was on? She was just on Saturday night. She's in Southern California, Timbo, and she does cakes, cookies, and chocolate covered apples. That is her 3. Like she has so much business with just those.
And that's what I'm saying. So like a lot of people are like always looking, like it's fine. Like people don't mind going to different bakers for different things, but if they can just do like if you could just be a one-stop shop and everyone can get everything they need for their holiday parties from you, even more money for you.
Yeah, that's when we had our shop in Florida. We had a 4,500 square foot dessert cafe, and we cranked out the fudge, the cupcakes, the mini brownies, brownie bars, all that stuff. But we would put together packages, you guys, of dessert buffets, priced per person, like you'd price for a wedding meal, and then set up their dessert buffets and have like 15 different things on there. But we got the whole kit and caboodle for their business. And it made a huge difference. And someone is asking if you could please tell us what chocolate you're using in those molds. And
yes, so what's important to know is that for kids parties, if I know like a lot of them are like going to kids or children or the themes for children, I'll just use candy melts because they like the taste of those. For adults. So like if I were making these for like a wedding or something like that, like that's what these are made for, like wedding favors. I'll use like more of a gourmet chocolate, but all of that can be storable. So it really doesn't matter which.
Okay.
I do know for chocolate, if you want to color chocolate, like if you want to color white chocolate, you have to use either powder colors or colors that are made for chocolates because of the fat and oils that are in chocolate. You can't just use water-based colors.
Right. Absolutely. And then Kathy loves these. And Priscilla said it was definitely Easter. They've gone and looked. And then Debbie said that last Halloween you did a creepy finger hand thing. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that. I think it was like a toe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. I think that is what it was. And Priscilla said she's going to try this with white chocolate and Christmas chocolate bars.
You sure? There's tons of like if you guys just go to Amazon you'll find a ton of different molds like this.
Okay.
That
And
like they have like
Mimi is,
holiday kind, and like it's easier. Like you can do molds and transfers and decorate all of the treats exactly the same to match each other.
yeah, that's perfect. And Mimi, thank you. She's our little tech guru in the group. She's dropping in Amazon links like a wildcat here. It looks good.
Awesome.
No, it's not my birthday. My birthday is in April. And Mimi said everything Timbo creates is a masterpiece, and she is absolutely right. Jessie Ann Riley says she thanks you so much, love watching. And Facebook
Thank
user
you
says,
guys.
Timbo's amazing, love his tutorials, and he seems so down to earth. Thank you for sharing your skills. That's from Joanne, and she meant Timbo, but she typed it wrong, and then she corrected it. Lavelle is asking if you've ever used Merkin's chocolate.
Yes, Merkins is what I use the most actually. Merkins is actually like the easiest to get, but you do want to stay on top of that because it gets hard to find, especially on Amazon. It gets
Yes.
hard to find like around the holidays. So like the holidays, Valentine's Day, even like October, because people are buying it up to create their own treats.
So this is another reason you should slide through my neck of the woods when you're here, because we have a Mennonite market and an Amish market, and they both carry the Merkins in bulk, and it's the best. So good.
Also.
To come through here. Jenny said they're so pretty. Thank you for encouraging us to branch out with what we offer. Donna Rohrbaugh is with us. She's going to be on, you guys. She is our gingerbread artist that's going to jump into our December event. And she said Sugar Delights in Michigan carries many of the Robert Haynes products and has the matte glaze. So if anybody's up in that area, check that out. Evelyn says, thank you so much, Timbo. So much awesome info. Laura, we should probably tell him that I'm the queen of silicone molds. Have you ever heard how bad my obsession is?
No, I haven't.
Well, one day I'll send you a picture, but I was conservatively estimating, Timbo, when I brought everything together to the new old house for the cookie studio here from the store and from the other cookie studio at my other house. When I brought it all here together, I was being very conservative when I said I had 1,000. And that's all I'm going to admit to tonight, because I think my husband and my mother are watching us on YouTube right now. Oh, it's bad. It's really bad. I need an intervention. I actually went through and made sure I didn't have duplicates of anything except my high volume molds, the ones I use all the time, just because you can't get everything all the time, right?
Right.
So I kept 2 of those. There's like 5. I kept 3 of them just to make sure. And then everything else I started trading or giving away or selling. Kelly said, these are fantastic. Got in a little bit late. She missed the orientation on the cookies. Is it modeling, chocolate, or fondant? And that tonight he's using fondant, but you can do both.
You can do all 3 actually. You can do, if you just did a royal icing base and use that the wax paper method or the parchment paper method to get those techniques or those details on there. Everything else can be royal icing decoration. So if you're just using the mold, I put fondant in here, moldable royal icing, or vanilla or modeling chocolate.
All right. Kelly says, you're the best, Timbo. Thanks for spending the evening with us. Carrie said, thanks to both of us. It's appreciated. Holly said, thanks so much. Loving everything. Jessica said, thank you both. Awesome live. Shayna says, thanks, Timbo, for the tutorial. Miss Terry Lewis is in the house. She says, thanks, Timbo. So talented. Can't wait to see you and take your class in Denver. Nadine says, did your class in Ohio, loved it. Also met you through Amy, and she's the chocolate lady. She's the lady that sends me all the chocolate from Canada.
Oh, yeah.
So Shayna says, silicone mold intervention hilarious. Well, if you were my husband, you wouldn't think it was hilarious. I now have a whole cabinet very organized so that I can use everything. And it's even worse, I've discovered in the last week. Melinda says, thank you, by the way, Timbo. I've discovered I have a cookie cutter problem too. So you guys are going to benefit from that. Rochelle says, awesome, wonderful time learning from Timbo. Nimrose says, thanks, Timbo. Can't wait to take your class in Ottawa. It sounds like lots of people are signed up, Timbo.
Awesome.
Bobby says, these are so pretty, have a definite gory flair. Thank you. Rochelle says, thank you. Nicole says, thank you. Renee says, hello, everyone. Allison said, love it. Looking forward until we see you in Norfolk. Barbie says, thanks for a wonderful tutorial. Took your burger class in Houston. Debbie says, thank you. Timbo, thank you, Timbo, for spending the night with us. Always a pleasure to see you. I don't know who that is because it says Facebook user, but it's someone lovely from Cookie Snack Attack. Charlotte says, thank you, Timbo. I always love watching you. And you know what? We're running over, so we need to let him go, guys. Timbo, is there anything you want to tell the Cookie Snack Attackers? Do you want to come back on camera at all and say goodnight, or are you good to go here? What do you feel like doing?
Yeah, so thank you guys so much again for joining in. I'm gonna grab a quick picture of these to post into the group, and I will be around in the group. So if you have any questions or anything that you think of after tonight or after this live, just feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will do my best to get back to you.
All right, Timbo, I can't thank you enough. This was really fun hanging out with you for the evening. And I took away a few mic drop things from this too. So I am going to work on a cookie next week, and I'll send you some pictures or post it in the group so you can see it of how I implemented a few of these things, because you gave me some really great ideas tonight for some Christmas things.
I can't wait to see it.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. And Timbo, if you want to hang out for 1 second, and then we'll disconnect, okay?
Okay,
so
awesome.
You guys have an awesome night. Please share the stream. Please hit the like, love button. Please follow Timbo and then share his information on classes. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we have Tammy and Todd from 2T Stencils in the evening, and I'm going to do my catch-up demo during the day, hopefully at noon, might be 12:30, but I will be there.